Hey, it's Nikachu, Merfolk Master. Today we're going to be experimenting with some modern Merfolk over here. I'm going to try out maybe a few new ideas. Maybe it's a bit outdated, but we'll see how it works out. Consign to memory in the main deck. Consign to memory, looking at the landscape, might perform a little bit better than, say, Force of Negation in the Force of Negation main deck, given the fact that it's not the greatest card versus Boros Energy. It's like okay, but against a lot more of the fair decks, for example, like the Orzhov Blink deck, Consigned to Memory would be infinitely better, and this card is still not too bad versus Energy, because you can disrupt Flage, you can disrupt the what's it? The enchantment that insteals your creature at ETB. Not to mention you could put a beating on Ajani by at least getting rid of the stupid cat that comes into play that could be killed to flip the Ajani. So there's a decent chunk of application to Consign to Memory, even just in that matchup. And Consign to Memory, even if we don't have Force Negation in the main, to hit things like Storm, Amulet, and Belcher, Consign to Memory will still be able to interact with them. Although I have to say, I think Force Negation is just above and beyond better in all the matchups except Belcher. Now, there's some other things I want to try out with this list today, and one of them being Hydroelectric Specimen instead of Mutavault. I have found Mutavault, it's a fine card, but it is increasingly getting worse and worse and worse because of Harbinger of the Seas. When we play Harbinger of the Seas, the Mutavault's useless anyway. It just doesn't do anything. So if we top deck Mutavault, wouldn't we want to top deck the Hydroelectric Specimen, potentially to protect our Harbinger of the Seas? By the way, Hydroelectric Specimen is the Bolt land from Modern Horizons 3. It's a 1/4 creature, so pretty big, not bad, versus Energy to block creatures, also maybe even redirect their Galvanic Discharge. But because it has the ability with Flash, when this creature enters, you can change the target of target instant or sorcery spell with a single target to this creature. Only a single target. Only it has to have a single target. So a lot of Kozilek's commands are actually not going to be able to be redirected because very often that card has 2 targets. So it sucks, but that's okay. Now, we still have our Stern Scolding in the main. I think it's very well positioned right now. Maybe it should be even above Consigned to Memory. One thing I'm not sure about this deck is the Floodpits Drowner. I'm willing to still have Mindspring Merfolk as our 1 toughness creature, but now with Is It Prowess getting way more popular, like super fast, Lava Dart is now just as dangerous as Bowmasters, and Floodpits Drowner is just a lot weaker. But it's possible that, especially when I remove Mutavault and put in Hydroelectric Specimen, maybe Floodpits Drowner could be Merfolk Trickster. Not a fan of Merfolk Trickster, but between Is It Prowess, which you could chew up the Dragon Rage Chandler somewhat reliably, and also the Zoo deck, where you can just pop a Territorial Kavu. Maybe Merfolk Trickster is better in this slot other than Floodpits Drowner. But anyway, I'm just curious to see how well this is going to play and perform. So with that, let's get into our Modern League. We won the die roll in round 1. Hand is honestly sort of crappy. I think I'm going to keep it, though. Not really thrilled with this hand. I don't really like double Ether Vial hands, but I guess we're gonna keep. Not only that, I have to bolt myself with my Hydroelectric Specimen here. Also not a fan of that. But depending on what we're up against, maybe this hand is good. We can still even with our 1 mana, we have something to do with that, with Consigned to Memory. Eventually, when our vials get up to 2, and we can deploy our everything in our hand. Yeah, format's getting hostile. Boros Energy, Is It Prowess? And I didn't mention this in the deck tech, but you could have, you could have, for example, Chalice of the Void in the sideboard for Is It Prowess. Looks like it would just smash the hell out of that deck. But the problem is I don't really see Chalice of the Void being all that useful versus anything else. Alright, we're off to the races here. Chalice, Everflowing Chalice. Okay, I've never seen that one before. Is this like colorless Eldrazi? I got another Hydroelectric Specimen. What am I gonna do here? I guess I'm gonna still play it, because I don't think there's anything in this deck that can save me. Or so I don't know if there's anything useful I can redirect. At least not in the game 1. Pay through life, yes. I love paying life. I have no idea what this... I guess this might represent that I have consigned to memory in the main. Maybe. Or maybe it represents I have, like, dismember. Oh, I'm definitely countering that. I can't beat Glaring Fleshraker. That card just gets out of control. Just gets completely out of control. Harbinger of the Seas is great to see. We're going to... I guess there's no point playing... No, okay, yeah, I'll play the Lord. If I don't play the Lord, then I'm forced to play Floodpits Drowner with my mana, and I might not want to do that. Another Fleshraker. Cast a Kula spell. I'm going to have to Floodpits that, to be honest. Ooh. Oh. Artifact enters with X charge counters. Choose a color, add 1 mana of the chosen color for each charge counter on this artifact. Okay. So what, it can do nothing right now? Is that how I understand this? Surge node. Oh, this is just Dice Factory. This 6 damage is going to really help them. It's this Fleshraker. So how does it... Okay, hold on. This is... You can put charge counters on things... So this can add a lot more mana later. So actually, this Harbinger of the Seas all of a sudden is not doing nearly as much as I wanted it to. Okay, we will be able to deploy our hand, though. And I will get rid of this Fleshraker, because this is probably going to kill us. Stern... Well, that would have been nice a second ago. Not so useful right now. How about we start with an attack? Now here's a good question. Do I want my opponent to block with that spawn token? Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe so. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, let's see what they want to do. If you want to block, you can block. I don't care. Okay, well, apparently that was not good for me. Okay, that's gonna happen. Oh, I see. I see. Okay, that's fine. Oh, I can't hold up Stern Scolding because I'm gonna get rid of the Fleshraker soon. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of this thing. I mean, that thing by itself could kill me. Okay, at upkeep, I guess we're going to activate the Harbinger of the Seas. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. I had to play it immediately. Now they can just bounce the Ugin and put it right back into their hand. Anyway, this was stupid. Oh, look at that. You can play your Ugin's Labyrinth and not put anything into your hand. You're welcome. Another Fleshraker? Another one? That's the third one. That's the best card versus me. And damn it, we've got Stern Scolding in our hand. Now completely rotting away as if it's doing nothing. But maybe they got no payoff. So if we just race them for 2 turns, maybe that's enough to win the game. Because if the Ugin is there, maybe that's enough. Anyway, we'll just put a 2-turn clock. What do I want to see? I think I'd want to see a Tishana's Tidebinder. It's probably our best... Probably the best thing that we could draw. Cause can that win? 4, 8, 13. No, damn. Just need our opponent not to just play a million things. How much mana can be made here? 1, 2. Well, I mean, they can add more mana with the surge nodes. Oh no, but if they use a mana, then they don't actually net mana. So they can make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 mana this turn. The big scary stuff is a bit out of range, unless they can play some stuff for free. Okay, to create the Eldrazi sounds, but they don't. All right, main deck consigned to memory, baby. I don't know how many creatures I should expect out of this deck. It's been a long time since I played versus Dice Factory. I assume I want counter spells. Like, I don't think Dismember is good. I would assume the only creature they have is, like, Flesh Raker and maybe the creature that puts charge counters on other creatures, which they can sack in response, so that's not going to be good. I think I want Mind Spring. I think I still want Harbinger of the Seas. I honestly don't think I need Flood Pit's Drowner, but I'm bringing in 3 cards. I gotta take something out. Stern, like I said, like the stuff that hits the creatures looks the worst. I just don't know how many creatures that they have that would matter. Now, traditionally, this deck played with, at least the way I remember, it played with the the Urza lands. So bringing in stuff like Spreading Seas was not bad. But I think Tide Shaper should be okay. Should be good enough. So what else do I want? Oh, Hexcatcher. Hexcatcher is just going to be better than the Lords. It's because this can interact with the big creature spells, and yeah, that's what it can do. Okay, submit. And it's a Lord. If they have another double Vial hand, it's not bad. We got Harbinger of the Seas and Tishana's Tidebinder. I like both those cards. I'm probably going to keep... I'm going to find this as like a bit of a keep on the weaker side. Devourer of Destiny, huh? Okay, Devour my Destiny, I will. Yeah, these are creatures I can't kill with Dismember or counter it with Stern Scolding. Everflowing Chalice on 0, that's fine. I mean, if they play the Surge Node thing, I'll just counter that. Power Conduit. Remove it. Remove a counter from a permanent you control. Choose one. Put a charge counter on target artifact. It sort of screws with my vials. Remove a counter from a permanent you control. Can you get counters anyway? Put a +1/+1 counter on target creature. I'm going to let that resolve, because that doesn't do anything just yet. Oh, that adds mana. So that's going to add mana, but still doesn't create charge counters. Sure. I hope I'm not getting too lazy here. What the hell is this going to do? So it can hit Ether Vial. That would hurt me. I think I just have to let it happen. I mean, there's already a big beating for my stuff here. Okay, we're going to let that go. This is probably going to name Ether Vial, and I'm screwed. Well, partially screwed. We're on the draw. Our hand is slow anyway, no matter what. Okay, they do choose Ether Vial. Funny enough, we have Ottawa in our hand, but unfortunately, it's going to be... has to go into play first. So everything backwards happened in this game. But the reason I'm holding on to the Force of Negation is... these cards do nothing unless... oh, they got the Core Tapper now. And I can't counter that. Okay, and now I think I'm just dead. Maybe dead is a strong word. Okay, we got our second land. I can do nothing with our hand, though. Would you like to put some charge counters on my Ether Vial, please? So what can be done here? Core Tapper gets sacked to Everflowing Chalice. You can play a 4-drop. That seems like something I'm... like, this is what I was expecting to counter. What does this card do? Oh, it just taps. Oh, it can tap to put a charge counter, or you can sack it to put a charge counter. Well, that'll be great for Tishana's Tidebinder eventually. Also, Tishana's Tidebinder interacts with Surge Node very well. Well, I have to slow this crap down, or Ugin's Labyrinth's going to be real. So you tap, you put a counter on this thing. Move a counter from a permanent you control. Yeah, let's start interacting. They have 4 mana available right now. So awkward. Okay, we're going to play this. You're going to pay 3 life. It's gonna be super transparent. Pass. And I think what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to Tishanda's Tidebinder, the Core Tapper, if I can. What's this going to be? Cornucopia? Sure. I don't care about that all that much. So funny, I need this to bounce the stupid Pithing Needle too. Can unlock my cards. Okay, well, just keep passing back and forth, I guess, for a little while. Hexcatcher is great, because I can deploy that card pretty freely. Okay, that's what I wanted to see. Let's get this Core Tapper offline. Mana goes down. I do believe this deck... Oh, wait a minute, you can still sack it for nothing. Yeah, okay, that was a punt by me. So now how much mana is there? There's a lot of manas. Don't think Kozilek's command works here. Unless they want to try it on the next turn. Okay. Oh, does it work now? Oh, then I'm just stupid. Okay. The rest are out of cards, though. Or no, they're not. They're going to play the Devourer of whatever Destiny next turn. So my best line was... I don't know, maybe play Harbinger of the Seas the previous turn. Oh, they found another Devourer of Destiny. How does this work when you cast the spell, exile? Okay, that's fine. Well, it's not fine, but I can't do anything about it. I'm going to say always no to both of these. Flare of Denial is like sort of a nice card. Okay, I have to play this so that we don't have to deal with a second stupid Devourer of Destiny. The fact that we're still in this game despite how outrageously awkward the start was. Put a charge counter on Conduit. I mean, sure, I can't do anything about it. Oh my god, all these cast triggers. Well, getting rid of my thing, so I'm going to get rid of your thing. Eye for an eye, I guess. But after that, we're dead. I forgot that this is the first time Ugin Eye of Storms has been played against me. Completely forgot that this thing. I completely forgot that this thing has that exile on cast card. Okay, let's play this. We can. Well, the odds of us coming back are actually very, very poor from here. But there is a world where it happens. Because there is still a decent chunk of air in these decks. The only problem is now I'm in top deck mode, and I have to start chump blocking. So we need Flood Pit Drowner would be very nice. That is not nice. Opponent's not blocking. I have to block with Hexcatcher next turn, so we'll just deploy Hexcatcher. I don't know if I need... It'd be so nice. Drawing these utility lands first for our first few turns really sucked, because we really needed them, like, right now. Oh, look at that. Look at that synergy. Turning the spawn tokens into a lethal weapon. Yeah, I block. So what? Another ether vial. Okay, these everything was pretty bad this game. Everything was as awkward as humanly possible. Okay, begin sideboarding. I don't think I want to change very much, to be honest. I'm just going to keep it as it is. Like, we were behind that entire game, but we still weren't getting completely smushed. The game still went long. It sort of also depended on that Kozilek's command resolving. The hand is good enough. Keep. Our opponent mulliganed, which is good for us. This deck does require a certain density of cards to be successful. Going down to 5. Yeah, we're now probably far ahead. I imagine this deck also plays with Urza Saga. That's probably a good pickup for this deck. First few turns, we're just going to do nothing. Absolutely nothing. Well, well, well. Yeah, you can resolve. That's fine. You can have that mana. Because it's possible if you can counter that. Do I want to... It's not a charge count. This is a lore counter. Surge Node. The thing that is the most evil here. I'm going to counter you. Because all of a sudden they can play like 0 mana cornucopias. That would be nasty. And Flip Hits Drowner and Flare of Denial is sort of a nice combo. Ever-Flowing Chalice. I think I'm gonna Flood Pits and Flare this. I don't know how they make mana after we Harbinger the Seas their life away. I mean, they could dismember Harbinger the Seas, I guess, but we'll have another one. The Harbinger of the Seas army. Yep. And another one. Should I be greedy to play it, though? I think I should just not. It doesn't actually speed up my clock to have a third Harbinger of the Seas in play, but it does speed up my clock to have a Tishana's Tidebinder in play. So I will throw it out. That's a 2-turn clock, and then hopefully with Consigned to Memory in hand, that's just game. Put a random creature in play. Build a bunch of lands. What you can do with it? The Mystic Forge. I should actually, with Replication, counter this thing. And they concede. All right, we won the match. But I mean, I would assume this is a good matchup. We have a lot of good interaction. There is probably some games where, I mean, it might be similar to just regular Eldrazi, where if they've got a good hand and it lines up well with ours, they could smash us back as well. But anyway, we won round 1. Let's get into round 2. Here for round 2, we won the die roll. Hand's sort of terrible. I'm gonna keep it. It's a bit interactive. It's so banking on this Mind Spring drawing some cards, like drawing us out of this. So basically the first few turns is gonna be like Ether Vial, hold up Stern Scolding, play like a third land for Flare of Denial, and then hopefully we can cash it, like draw 2 cards off of Mind Spring, at least 1. In addition to like whatever we're gonna draw off the top of our deck. But it's a super vulnerable hand. I do see a path forward with this thing, though. I do see a world where it's playable. Our opponent mulligan to 6. But being on the draw, it doesn't change very much. Is everyone excited for Modern? Everyone excited? Oh, we're up against what's probably Black-White Blink. This would be a very good situation. This would almost be perfect. We draw Lord of Atlantis, which is irrelevant. Yeah, so Stern Scolding and Flare of Denial line up pretty well versus versus Blink, assuming that's the deck. And oh, okay. Forget everything I said about Blink. Oh, okay. Stern Scolding, all of us. Actually, Stern Scolding is actually still playable versus Goryo's Vengeance. They've got a lot of creatures at 2 mana. They got a lot of creatures at 2 mana to hit. Like Psychic Frog. They play Psychic Frog. They play what else do they play? The 0/3 that looks at the top 3 cards, and I don't know. You put like a card in your hand and the rest in the graveyard. There's stuff. There's stuff. Sink into Stupor. That's also good too. Merfolk. And I think we are doing nothing. I might want to draw a card off of Mind Spring, even if it's just 1. And then try to beat our opponent down with Lord... maybe I don't. Maybe I should have attacked for 1. I don't think I'm in a good position to draw these cards. Yeah, I'm not really in a great position to draw these cards, am I? Because if I tap out, then I can't play Stern Scolding for their Solitude. These decks play Solitude. And they're waiting patiently too. They're up to something, all right? We're up to something. They're up to something. We're all up to something. Yeah, I'm up to something. You're also up to something. Oh, you're afraid of Hexcatcher now? Want to make a move? Is it time? Time to make a move, the opponent says. So, I think the only move there is here is just Flare. I think it's just Flare of Denial and hope my opponent doesn't have Spell Pierce. And I don't want to sack my Mind Spring Merfolk. Hopefully there's no Spell Pierce here. Is there Force Negation in these decks? I don't think so. Alright, 1 counter down. Flood Pits is okay. Do I use my Sink into Stupor? Probably not. Okay, I'm just going to start attacking. Yeah, screw it. Probably should have started attacking last turn. I missed out on like 1 or 2 damage. And pass. Can't really play Sink into Stupor. Because if I play it, then I have nothing to use the mana for. I mean, maybe with Mind Spring Merfolk. Okay, we'll deploy a Flood Pits Drowner. Which might be useful, to be honest. It's probably not completely useless. I think I'm going to tick the Vial up because... No, I shouldn't do that. I'm not going to tick it up. I'm not going to tick it up because I might have to play this Sink into Stupor. So, 2-turn clock on the way. I have to keep the Ether Vial in my hand. Now, going down to 7 life is good because now if they reanimate the Grizzlebrand, go for it! I don't care. What is that going to do? Okay, yeah, so we're going to let that resolve. Sure. Do I have to do anything right now? Or do I do it at my upkeep? Yeah, I think I sink here just in case my opponent plays land, plays Solitude, Exile Grizzlebrand, gains 7 life. Does that matter? Maybe that doesn't even matter. Well, just in case they have some response, I should... okay, hold on. The alternative is I bounce this back to hand. They somehow get it back into the graveyard with like Psychic Frog and then reanimate it again. Okay, so maybe I should wait until an attack. And this huge long pause from me is probably just setting off alarm bells from our opponent. Like, oh, they have to have something. Gotta have something there. I'm surprised they didn't go for a block or something. Because they would have forced me to play my Sink into Stupor. But I guess they just wanted to maximize the chances that I might tap out on my turn. Pay 7 life. Send a message. Send the message. Just do it. Do it. Who knows what you'll draw? Damn. Okay, they're gonna try to do something else here. Shock. We're not done just yet. Okay, draw 2 cards and discard a card. They could still... Oh no, there's another Goryo's Vengeance. Oh, I made a big mistake. So I had to do this during the attack step. I'm an idiot. Okay, so this is going to get a bunch of cards. No! And gain 7 life too. They found Solitude. That's all I needed to see. They found Solitude. So that'll wipe out the Lord of Atlantis. Oh, that was a big punt. See, look at it. Modern still. Tiny little decisions matter. Yeah, why am I... Like, I'm waiting to the attack step to do this. And it's still... I found the perfect spot to do that perfectly late. Now, they still gotta sack the Atraxas. That's some good news. But still, I would be borderline... I would have borderline won by now. Okay, goodbye, Lord of Atlantis. Who would they get rid of, by the way? Oh, an Atraxa. Oh, you're gonna Ephemerate. Oh, you're gonna Ephemerate the Atraxa. Okay, I'm just dead lost. Maybe I was lost anyway. Like, even if I had bounced the... So the way the game is playing out, I might have been lost anyway, because they could still Tainted Indulgence, get Atraxa. I mean, even if they're at 2 life, I'm pretty confident that this stupid Atraxa sitting here would be awful for me. Well, that's just great. That is late for me. What to do? I guess do nothing. Guess do nothing and pass. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so they can rebound the Atraxa. Then when it comes back and triggers, we can Tishana's Tidebinder it at least. Lose flying. I didn't pay attention to what they put in their hand. They got a lot of cards. They have like Leyline Binding and a bunch of other crap. By the way, another... Oh, they have their own consigned memories. Okay, I'm just going to concede. I don't think I'm coming back after this. I'm dead in like, well, 3 turns technically. What are we drawing here? Very useful. Very useless stuff. Very, very useless stuff. Okay, what do we want? We want Hexcatcher. When do we want it? Now. Stern Scolding is still fine in this matchup. It's not the greatest if they can see our hand. Consign to Memory is fine. Also not the greatest, to be honest, though. Maybe we're actually going to get rid of Consign to Memory. Harbinger of the Seas, if our opponent is playing smart, is a very bad card because they have enough basics. They don't have to work off of a lot of basics in this deck. They just have to have a Plains, a Swamp, and that's it. And if they're aggressive in getting those cards, then they're going to be fine. What else do we want? Counterspells are good. Stern Scolding's also good. Can I afford to take out the... I have 27 creatures still in the deck. That's fine. Maybe I'll take out a... Sway Luna's nice. Oh, actually, I forgot. Like, of these 27 creatures, 3 of them are hydroelectric specimens. They're not as good. Okay, maybe we'll just leave it as is. Just gonna leave it as it is. Awkward hand, we'll keep it. We're like not getting clean, easy hands here today. Look at all this damage I'm taking. I just love drawing my utility lands first. That means when I draw my basic lands later, they'll be useless. Interesting. Just put this thing... I'll just put this into play tapped. So we have at least a little... We have a bit of a critter that can do something and attack. We had the Stern Scolding that was stone cold useless last game. Hopefully it's not as useless this game. I'm not going to wait for forever for this on this Tide Shaper. I'm just going to play it. It's interesting that they are being so patient with their fetch lands against the deck with Tashana's Tidebinder. And now they might not crack a fetch land for as long as these things are in play. Now, I understand by putting the second creature in play, that leaves me a little bit more vulnerable to Solitude. But once I take the Vial up to 3, I will not. Sync is okay. Keep the Sync in our hand. Or should I keep the Sync in our hand? Do I just bolt this one in play as well? Because then that lets us play we can play our entire hand from our hand. And Sync is not nearly as strong of interaction. Nah, we're going to leave it as this. It's okay. You ready to lose one of your lands, opponent? Yeah. I'm going to pop one off. It's almost like a time walk. Would you like to do it again? How many lands would you like to lose, opponent? That's right. You don't want to lose any more lands. They're not going to make that same mistake again. It's interesting. They could have gotten screwed by like Harbinger of the Seas there, in theory. Well, now we have enough mana to play whatever the hell we want from our hand. Alright, we've got a 3-turn clock. Yeah, they did not play an island to buff our Tide Shaper. How dare you, opponent, how dare you. So what's the plan? You got 2 fetch lands. I mean, you're effectively at like 7 life. You gotta do something. Waiting. No, that's okay. I don't have it. I don't have any more chance Tide Binders. Oh, they left a card on top. Is a bit weird. Unless the card on top is Supreme Verdict, which is actually interesting because I have 7 power in play. So you go fetch, get a land, Supreme Verdict. I can still sink into Stupor that, and then we have 7 damage in play for lethal. Shocking. Interesting. Can't do anything. I think we're gonna have some sort of Solitude War or something. Put the Coward in play just in case we have to play around Spell Pierce. Or somehow Spell Pierce is important. So is this gonna be like Tainted Indulgence into Goryo's Vengeance? Gonna be a Tainted Indulgence. Damn, can I interact with this in any way? There's no threat right now. I think I'm supposed to force and negate this. And then if they get like another Tainted Indulgence, go for it. They can do whatever they want. I don't care. Okay, that was just countered. Okay, Solitude comes in play. Okay, we're definitely gonna Stern Scolding this. That was the point of all these cards. Okay, that happens. Do we win? No, not yet. Oh. We're getting obliterated here? Okay, I guess it's just gonna be a gigantic exchange. Oh no! Oh, what happened? Did they have to get rid of an Ephemerate? Oh, they got rid of 2 Atraxas. So they're going to go down to 2. So everything worked out really well. That was a giant, like, 4 for 2 or so. We had 2 2-for-1s. Yeah, that worked out perfectly. Yeah, they needed to Tainted Indulgence, discard the Atraxas, maybe find Ephemerate or something. And they probably have a Reanimate card, so they really want to find a legendary creature. Put it in the graveyard, but it's... that's makes me very nervous. So they attack, they gain 8 life, but then if they have to pay the 8 life, and then they're almost dead. So maybe they just keep... No, they can't keep the Grizzlebrand. They're probably still going to pay maximum life. What is this, Damn? Damnation? Oh, Rat the Skies. Yeah, goodbye everything. All things considered, we're actually in good shape, but we just need a random creature to win. That's a pretty good random creature to cross the finish line. And even if we don't cross the finish line, we maybe draw a boatload of cards. Destroy all non-land permanents with mana value 1 or less. What can I do here? Nothing. Looks like we're just going to be trading creatures for removal spells for a little while. A flash speed creature would be pretty good here, I guess. Oh, you want a Goryos? No, definitely don't want you to do that. Or maybe I should have let it resolve and I could sink it. Yeah, that was probably a little bit better. Or I guess that's like an alternative way to win. Woo! A 1/4 flash creature. What does pest control do? Oh, destroy all non-land permanents with mana value 1 or less, not power toughness 1 or less. Ah! Gain 2 life, draw 2 cards, and you can flash it back. Damn! Yeah, that would have been a superior play to sink into Stupor, the stupid Grizzlebrand, and force negate this. Well, that's going to make things so much worse for my Hydroelectric Specimen. The clock completely changed. They discarded another Faithful Mending, so what, they have a bunch of life gain in the graveyard now? Okay, that's sus. That's very sus, actually. Because that's a good... I think that's a good card. So, like, what I'm being told here is that maybe they have Solitude. I mean, I'm going to run right into it anyway. Hydroelectric Specimen. If there's a Goryo's Vengeance here, it doesn't change much, because the Grizzlebrand will come into play, but can't pay any life, cannot attack yet. And we can still sink that afterwards. I think that's what our opponent's going to do. Take the opportunity to go find a Goryo's Vengeance and get this Grizzlebrand in play. Oh, actually, or an Atraxa now. Damn, that's way better. And we lose. I think we cleanly lose. Damn it, Mind Spring, why couldn't you cross the finish line? Why couldn't you do it? It's just one more damage. Well, all things considered, our opponent played very, very tight. We played less tight than them. They deserve the victory. Changes. They got... Oh, they have Ketramos in this deck, too. I need... yeah, I think I would still have... Well, this deck might be very, very different from what I think it is. Maybe I've mis-sideboarded as a result of it. Oh, what did they get? They have 3 cards in hand. They got Tainted Indulgence, Ketramos, and a Swamp. It's not a lot of stuff. Tainted Indulgence, Ketramos, and a Swamp. Well, first let's bounce this stupid thing. Attack for 1. It actually, you know what? It just makes me think the right time to play this Hydroelectric Specimen was actually at the end of my opponent's second main phase. Oh, am I stupid? Oh, it was supposed to sack this turn anyway. Oh, I'm an idiot. Yeah, that was complete. Well, that was a complete waste. Okay, okay. So actually, the correct move was actually just pass the turn. Turn target legendary creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. That creature gains has exile at the beginning of the next. Oh yeah, okay. They brought it back at the end of their turn, which means that it needs to be sacked on my turn. So that sink into Stupor was completely pointless. Our opponent is playing way tighter than us. Way, way, way tighter than us. Here's the Ketramos, which will probably bury us at this point. Has lifelink. Oh, but it can't attack it. How many cards are in exile? 5? No, 6. Ooh, we got a Floodpits Drowner. Ooh. So what is there in hand? There's a... Okay, the swamp is gone, so there's a tainted something, a mob bobber. I just have to hope our opponent bricks on the tainted indulgence. Come on, nothing on tainted indulgence, nothing. 0. Brickaroonies. Ah, the Faith. I forgot about that card. It's even better. Gain some life. The Emperor of Bones, sure. Oh, so this thing can attack now. Well, that's not good then. Does this have it just has this activated ability of Adapt 2. Okay, I can't beat all this. I just can't beat everything. I concede. Good games. All right, well, yeah, my opponent played tighter than I did. We have our chances. Now, mind you, we're not playing with any graveyard hate because there's just not enough graveyard-based decks for me to play it. I think Merfolk has plenty of game versus these Atraxa Goryo's Reanimate decks anyhow. Anyway, that was round 2. Let's get into round 3. Round 3, we won the die roll. Again, we're doing pretty good on die rolls. This is the most sane hand that we've had all day, so we're going to keep it. We have a decent curve. Mind Spring. Hopefully draws us a card. Hopefully draws us a card. I don't know how I'm going to deploy our hand here. I'm sort of hoping to flood out so that this Mind Spring actually becomes a little bit more useful. Makes me wonder if playing with more lands is appropriate when you have Mind Spring in your deck. Oh, looks like I think we're up against Goryo's Reanimator again? I don't know if they all play Thoughtseize, but a good chunk of them do. Like some copies. I honestly just don't know many Thoughtseize decks in the format anymore that play blue. I don't... Or does Murktide? I don't think so. I think they're a little bit more on the cantrips counterspell plan. You took my land! The Scallywag! I can still play my hand. All things considered. I can still play Consign here. It's Dimir something. Psychic Frog. Sure, actually. It doesn't do anything. Oh, no. Okay, this still could be Reanimator. The whole point is to play the Psychic Frog, dump the reanimation target, and then reanimate it. Carousel's Merfolk. Pass, I guess. And we will absolutely Flood Pits that Psychic Frog. 100 million zillion %. I'm not sure if they play Gloom Lake Verge, though. If this is another Goryo's Reanimator deck. I'm going to save the other Flood Pits for the future. Preordain. Okay, can't remember if that's a Reanimator deck card. Sure. No, I don't think they play that card because they play the other cantrips. Tainted Indulgence. I don't know, maybe some... I'm starting to lean that this is just a Dimir deck of some sort. Okay. Maybe even more than that. I don't know what the third color is for. Put Flightistrand in the graveyard. I will pass. Sorry, I'll take my turn. That's an interesting draw. Anyway, I'm going to attack for 3. Especially since we have Flare of Denial, maybe we can play this Lord and actually protect it. If necessary. Okay, this is definitely... Okay, we're hard into some sort of Dimir-ish deck. Maybe Sultai, although I don't know what the third color is for. Some sort of light splash for something. It's the lightest of splashes. We have Cryptic Command all of a sudden. Okay, I'm assuming there's like Bowmasters or something. I'm going to play just Flood Pit's Drowner. We're going to hit the Frog. We're going to attack with everything. If a Bowmasters is played, I can consign to memory the triggers and give unblockable with the Master of the Pearl Trident. If nothing happens, I'll just hit for 5 and we'll just pass. You want to Fatal Push that? Sure. Fatal Pushed. It's better that than instead of my Master of the Pearl Trident. So like Snapcaster Mage in there? That's what's happening. And they know about my Consign to Memory. I think this is the only card they know about. I've played everything else. I would really like a third land. So I can just hard cast these Flare of Denials. You've got a Murktide, sure. That's pretty big. I could Flare of Denial it, but I think I'm now in the mood to just start racing my opponent. It just really sucked if there's like multiple fatal pushes here, because I can only protect versus I can only reasonably protect versus 1. I think I'm gonna tick the Vial up to 3. Does that help me? I'll turn off all the black mana if I draw Harbinger of the Seas. No, maybe I'll leave it on 2. 3, 2, no, okay, hell on. If I tick it up to 3, draw a 3-drop, that would really suck. No, okay, yeah, I'm gonna tick it up to 3. If I draw a 2-drop, I'll just play it. If I draw a 3-drop, I can play it. If I draw a land, I would play the land, and it doesn't matter where the Vial is. You're gonna Dismember. Okay, well, I have to protect. Sack a Mindspring Merfolk. Got another Mindspring Merfolk, which is not... It's pretty good, actually. It's still lethal. Still lethal. It's a decent thing that's still sacrificed to Flare of Denial. I'm not sure how we die. If we do die. Still don't know what the third color is for, if that's relevant. It might be here as a 5th. No, it can't be a 5th Surveil land. They would have just got the other one. Psychic Frog is going to go to the skies, it looks like. Pump up the Murktide Regent. Yep. It's okay. None of it's lethal. It's just all annoying. And if they attack with both, then Master the Pearl Trident is lethal as well. Oh! Oh! It might... maybe I'm supposed to, like, consign to memory this. What could screw me over with this consign to memory? Not even Snapcaster Mage at this point. I just don't know how I use this, if I ever use this for the rest of the game. I'm basically just exchanging this for another card. All right, I think we won. That wasn't bad, because that could be a counter spell to hit our Flare of Denial. All right, well apparently they couldn't beat the board. All right, it's just Dimir cards. But in a deck with Dimir cards, I assume there's Bowmasters. And where there's Bowmasters, there's problems. There's problems, we better bring in Stern Scolding. Stern Scolding is going to be good. I think we have to bring in Force of Negation. Force of Negation is not very good game 1 versus Dimir decks, but it's a lot better games 2 and 3 as they bring in Toxic Deluge and other sweepers. And like if they sweeper you, you're dead. You're just dead. So you have to try to dodge that scenario. What cards to remove? Oh yeah, I'm not a fan of Harbinger of the Seas in these matchups. Maybe our opponent's deck's vulnerable though. They showed no respect for Harbinger of the Seas in that last game. They got like another. They have to have a swamp though. Creatures 24. I feel. Oh, Lord of Atlas is good to bring in. Get around Bowmasters a little bit. Consign to memory maybe is just a little ambitious here. It's like fine game 1. It's not mandatory or anything though. Maybe we'll get rid of all the consign to memories. Get a Svalin back. The only good interaction with consign to memory here in this matchup is against an ETB of Bowmasters. Oh, maybe an ETB also of Snapcaster Mage, but that's still not wildly great. How good is Dismember here? Probably not great. Yeah, I'm fine with this. Hand looks awful. Mulligan. Only one land. His hand is also awful. Ugh. What happened? Did they mulligan? They didn't. I'm gonna keep. This is a crappy keep, but I'm gonna keep it anyway. I'm keeping because Sink into Stupor can interact with Murktide quite a few times. That's it. That's all I got. I hope I just draw into threats now. Oh, that's something. Yeah. Maybe I'm supposed to put one of these in play. Tapped, but I'm on a mulligan. I'm on a mulligan versus a Thoughtseize deck. Not a fan. Like that's why I'm like really hesitant to go down to 5 cards. You go down to 5 cards versus a Thoughtseize deck. What? I didn't know Dice Factory is that big of the format right now. What are the artifact decks you're trying to beat? Affinity? Is that what you're trying to beat here? That's crazy. Oh, look at the order. Look at that order. It dies. It's dead. Dead as a doornail. No respect! No respect for Harbinger of the Seas. I guess we'll just bring it back in. Maybe there's no swamp. Like, normally these decks, they'll, like, snap, get out the... Okay, there's the swamp. Okay, thank you. Huh. I was about to have a heart attack for a second. I have no idea what they're going to take. Your guess is as good as mine. All right, they get the Mind Spring Merfolk. Great choice. Excellent choice. Hydroelectric Specimen can't be that good. I'll just shock and pass. Sorry, not shock. Bolt. We bolted ourselves. I doubt this Hydroelectric Specimen is going to protect me from anything, so we're just going to play it as a Deceiver Exarch without any useful ETB. But it'll be annoying. And that's going to be the point. Can't fail push this. Not right now, at least. Ooh. Lord of Atlantis. Time for one. Can fatal push this, though. Yeah. Or counter it, I guess. What the hell is this? I guess this is the point of the green splash. Look at the top 4 cards of your library. Put 2 of them into your hand, the rest into your graveyard. Oh, very interesting. Very interesting. Just remember, everyone, this could have been Mutavault. I don't know how useful that would be, but it could have been Mutavault. But instead, it's now a 1/4 creature. I don't have to activate this at all. It's like it feels so free. I don't know what I would want from this card to make it a little bit better. This creature enters. You may change the target of target's instant or sorcery spell. Maybe if it costs 2 mana, that would make it a lot more useful. Overall, it's a pretty neat card. It's just a little too clunky to be useful for the most part. I mean, I guess what's it called? Found a purpose. Belcher found some good use out of this card. So they dumped a Murktide and a counterspell. So you're telling me you already have a Murktide? No! Stop doing that! Stop looking at my hand and taking my good cards. They knew about the 2 sinks, but they didn't know about the Force Negation. And they took the Force Negation. Drown? Drown? Oh no, nothing. Not yet. That's good. Now there's no board wipes. At 2 mana. 2 top, 0 bottom? That's not good. It's terrible news. Three damage. 3 damage at a time. I'm holding the land in my hand just to give my put some doubt in our opponent's mind what we can do, and it's not clear that putting this land in play helps me on my following turn at all, regardless of what I draw. So I'm just gonna sandbag the land. Assassin's Trophy, destroy target creature. Sure. Get the land. Okay, so now we know what the green splash is for. So Harbinger of the Seas actually is good. Harbinger of the Seas would be outstanding. It hits like a ton of cards out of their deck. Okay, now I said like oh my god, another Sink into Stupor. Okay, now I have to play this land. My guess is our opponent has a bunch of Murktides and they just don't want to play him into these Sink into Stupors. It would just look silly. And I guess maybe they have a bunch of counter spells too. What a weird game. And it also doesn't feel like it's... They might have Assassin's Trophy and they're just like, it's not really worth hitting the stupid Hydroelectric Specimen over. Look at the top 4 cards. Probably I should sink that. We're in tempo territory now. I can't return my own spell back to my hand. Oh, sinking my own sink would be stupid. You force a negation my sink into stupor. Well, bouncing this back to your hand is stupid. So we'll let that resolve. And so what if I bounce this? I mean, that was worth it. That was great. Top 4 cards, put 2 of them to your hand, the rest in your graveyard. My concern is if I let this resolve, next turn they'll probably play like spell plus have counter spell up, and then these sinks are not so good. But maybe I'm wrong. Look at the top 4 cards, put 2 of them to your hand, the rest in your graveyard. Okay. Maybe we'll let it resolve. Because I don't have, like, let's say I sink it, it resolves, it goes back to their hand. They main phase this bargain again. I don't, it's not like I can take advantage of the fact that they tapped out. So what went into the graveyard? Pick your poison and thoughts. Wow, you really want to get rid of my vials. You just can't beat either vial. Yet I bet you also shaved your counter spells. You don't even have that many counter spells in your deck. Each opponent sacrifices an artifact or enchantment. Sack a creature with flying. Oh, Kaito! This is a Kaito deck. I didn't know. I do now. Come on, give me a threat. A good threat. That is borderline useless. Wow, I so regret having this thing in play. I need a second one of these stupid 1/4s. Why is Kaito in this deck? You don't have anything useful to put back in your hand. Oh, that's hilarious. I gave you a target for your pick your poison. That's hexproof on its turn, right? Yeah, so I should just put this back in hand. No. Oh, flood. Well, I'm not gonna say I'm flooding out, or maybe I am flooding out. How many? Okay, that was a land. That's an exile. Land, or mana source, mana source. Yeah, I am flooding out. This is a mana source. I drew all my mana sources so far. Psychic Frog. Oh yeah. Okay, we're just flooding out, I guess. But look how much damage we're doing. Well, okay, so what if I had a Mutavault, would we have won? I guess so, in this game. Although next game I am 1 bazillion% bringing in the Harbinger of the Seas, just based on how our opponent is playing this deck and how many green cards they have available. I mean, this is unacceptable. We got to win fast because the Psychic Frog can win fast. Oh, can you bring the Kaito in now? That's the idea. We have a trigger, so you can like bring your Psychic Frog back while it's still technically attacking. But this thing wasn't there for the damage step. But it's still in play, I guess. Replay the Psychic Frog. You know, don't get me wrong. I mean, if this is what needs to happen to beat those energy decks, then by all means, please do it. Beat them for me. All right, here we go. I'm gonna attack the opponent. Another land, although it's sort of a spell. The Sink into Stupor would have been huge if we had. I think I have to bounce this. Or maybe not. If it attacks me, that's probably not that big of a deal. Or does it draw a card or something? You get an emblem with... Oh no, but it also has this stupid ability. Tap target creature against stun counters. Ugh. I'm not in a good spot either way. No matter what we do, we're in a pretty bad spot. Yeah, see? See? Put the stun counters on. Psychic Frog is back. These cards are not useful right now. I don't really know what to do here. I sort of want to keep these cards to protect potentially a threat that I could bring into play. Where opponent's drawing a ton of cards. Sculpting the top of their deck pretty well too. That is interesting. How many lands do I have? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Damn, I'm one short. I'm one short for Tishana's Tide. The Tishana's Tidebinder sync combo. In theory, they could kill me with Psychic Frog. If they go for it, I guess we're going to play Sink into Stupor on the Frog. Yeah, looks like they're going for it. If they're dumping Force Negation, we're probably in some trouble. Oh, how much is this? This is 3. 6, so that's 9. So they didn't even have to even remotely go all in. Okay, I mean, that's not going to get countered. I'm going to fight back. Alright. Alright, next game, we are going to bring Harbinger of the Seas back in. What to take out, though? Okay, take out Sphaloon. Sphaloon's probably fine in this matchup. This member may not have enough targets for this deck. I mean, it hits Psychic Frog. That's it. I think that's it. That's not enough for me. It looks like there's no Bowmaster. We didn't see Bowmasters once. So I'm just going to assume there's no Bowmasters. And maybe I'll take out one Force of Negation. Maybe a Flare of Denial. No, Flare of Denial can hit some stuff that I can't hit with Force Negation, like Murktide. Okay, we'll just submit that. We didn't see any sweepers. It's just a bunch of 1-for-1 stuff. Okay, keep. We've got Harbinger of the Seas, and hopefully that just wins. Look pretty strong versus this super green heavy deck. Super green heavy. We'll turn our Cavern of Souls off, but that's a small price to pay. We do need to draw into that last land, though. What is our opponent fetching for? This is a very premature fetch. Just giving me more information here. Okay, they're dumping their Thoughtseize. That's fine. Oh! Subtlety on my Master of the Pearl Trident. Okay, I mean, I'll put the Master of the Pearl Trident on the bottom because we still want that land for Harbinger of the Seas. That's okay. That's a lot of resources. Okay, come on, land. Super punish this. Super punish this play. They left a card on top. Preordain. Ugh, it's tempting to force this. Did they find like a land? No, this is turn 2. I mean, I'll let it resolve. I'm not sure what to force anymore. 0 top, 2 bottom. Then what was this? Was that an accident? They put the card on top with this, and then they dumped the other cards down. We drew an Ether Vial. One of the worst cards we could draw here. Okay, I'm gonna play the Ether Vial. Might get hit by pick your poison or some crap like that, but that's okay. We need to operate fast, though. I mean, once they get the green source out, so that they can crack this Flooded Strand for a breeding pool. It gives them the option to play like Float Green and then Assassin's Trophy, the Harbinger of the Seas. Or actually, pick your poison's fine. I don't mind that. Land. F me. Okay, attack. Oh, I'm probably going to hit their green source with this Tide Shaper. Force them to fetch more of those if they need to. Oh, I know what I can hit with this Force Negation. The Kaito. Yeah, if they go like fetch, play Kaito, snap counter that. Oops, I need to play Lord of Atlantis here. This is stupid. I just missed 2 damage for nothing. Okay, I'll play the post-combat Lord of Atlantis. The most cleverest of Lord of Atlantises. I'm like 99% convinced that if we had just slammed this Harbinger of the Seas on the first, like, turn 3, 4 to 5, the game would just be over, but that is not the case here. Oh, is this going to be just Subtlety? You're going to hardcast the Subtlety? Why don't you Subtlety the Lord of Atlantis? What is even going on here? Oh, the Charm. Oh, you're missing the green, so you can pay 2. Interesting. Okay, yeah, you can have that. I'm almost hoping for Assassin's Trophy. Please Assassin's Trophy me. Help me here. Our opponent's sort of down on cards. I mean, they're going to get 2 cards. Okay, forget it. They got 2 cards from that card. What do we have here? They just dumped a bunch of lands. Psychic Frog. Being a frog. Well, that's not a land. It's pretty good, though. Because we can at least tap down the Psychic Frog and continue the beats. they have removal for Lord of Atlantis, then so be it. No removal. Also, if they have Kaito in hand, they can't attack. They can't do anything about it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if we had this Harbinger of the Season play, it would just wreck our opponent. Like normally when I'm up against decks like this, like against Murktide, the very first thing they do is they like fetch their swamp and then they just play like, and then whatever else they play, it doesn't matter. In this deck, they don't seem as incentivized to quickly get that swamp. They do need to get some green sources because they've got Collector Roof, Pick Your Poison, Assassin's Trophy, this weird thing. Although they don't need actually green mana for this. They can play the double colorless. But, well, anyway, they're just much more vulnerable to this card than, say, a regular Murktide deck. Alright, that was round 3. We did win it. Probably it's a good matchup. Maybe not. I'm not entirely sure. Usually blue decks with a bunch of removal are pretty good for Merfolk. It would have been bad if they had Bowmasters, but or it would have been more challenging, but it looks like they're just not playing it. Or they were super unlucky and they never drew it. That was round 3. Let's go on to round 4. Here for round 4, we're on the draw. Our hand is fine. I'm going to keep it. Could be a little bit better if we could draw one more land, though. It'd be pretty decent if we can draw a land, so we can at least play something on turn 2. But Aether Vial on the draw is fine. And then Flare of Denial with Aether Vial is also quite good. So we can deploy a bunch of creatures, and we won't feel too bad about getting tempoing ourselves out with our own Flare of Denial. Opponent mulligan to 6. They're on probably Eldrazi. One of these Eldrazi decks. I doubt we're going to see Dice Factory this time. This hand, you know, I've been thinking about all my losses versus Eldrazi. It's mostly because they play like a 3/3 creature and I can't really get through it. I wonder if Floodpit's Drowner plays a bigger role than I think it should in the matchup, just so that I can like get a good chunk of damage in. Dismember is actually, I mean, it's not great because all the cards in their deck have some sort of cast trigger or ETB. But if they do play a creature, at least we can kill it. What the F is this? Okay, what is this? Scam? Is this some sort of Eldrazi scam? I have no idea what we're up against now. Pitching Gemstone Caverns? This is a wild deck. Okay, we got the island. That's great. So now we can play, you can just cast Floodpit's Drowner. Another Eldrazi Temple. It's still doing nothing. Devourer is at 7, so in theory it could be played next turn. Okay, I can only assume there is maybe, I guess, a Kozilek's command in hand, so maybe I should just do nothing for now. I don't want to give a specific target to Kozilek's command. What would have been... Actually, I really don't know what to do here. Except pass back. Like, I don't want to... I'm obviously... Whatever I put in play is just going to die. So I don't want to do anything. What is this? Does it exile a permanent? Can't... Exile target permanent that's one or more colors. Ha! Good luck getting that one. Well, what's the black and red for? Like, I'm paranoid they're going to play Bowmasters or something, even though that's completely illogical. Well, we might as well start playing things. If they play Kozilek's command or something, we can pitch like Floodpit's Drowner. Because we're going to be taking the Vial up to 3 so that we can get Harbinger of the Season play. And then just hopefully win. Hopefully. See, I wasn't prepared to do this last turn because I didn't want to fight over, say, a Kozilek's command. Like we're doing over here. And then they would get to untap and they'd get to untap again for one more turn. Is this like Fatal Push or something? Oh, that's a Bloodstained Mire. Oh, it's a Bloodstained Mire, so they can go get a basic. Shoot. Well, let's see what they do here. Yeah, this is a bit problematic. Because if they go fetch, get a swamp, I would be very unhappy about that. Okay, they didn't get anything. So what can they get from here? Still 7 mana. Okay, let's just plop up down a bunch of lords. Or maybe the only thing they can get with Bloodstained Mire is like these Surveil lands. Like, what could their mana base possibly be? Or maybe, like, I don't know what the black and red is for. It's just weird. I mean, okay, was there some black Eldrazi's? Black and red. Okay, so the red is obvious. The red could be like Kozilek's Return and stuff, but the black is not so obvious to me. Or maybe it's just red. Maybe it's just a splash of red. Because there are a lot of red Eldrazi's that like steal creatures and stuff like that. And maybe the black is... Because I don't know if it's black. Like, there was Bloodstained Mire and a Surveil land in play. And the Surveil lands are all 2 colors. And if you have to... You need a... You need a fetch land that can grab 2 colors to get there. Okay, so for Eldrazi... Yeah, I'm going to remove Dismembers. I'm going to keep the Flood Pits Drowner. I think that's going to be important. Of course, we're going to keep Harbinger of the Seas. I'll get rid of some Stern Scolding, so I can only bring in 4 cards. Let's bring... I don't even know how badly I want Spreading Seas. I can't remember. Is Spreading Seas better than Tide? No, Spreading Seas is better than Tide Shaper in the Ketramos deck. Let's bring some Force of Negations in, and I guess a Sveiloon. Something big and chunky, and maybe can get us some cards back. This hand is fine-ish. Has a good curve. Has a curve which is like Flare of Denial is infinitely better if you have a 1-drop to sacrifice to it. Although, I have to admit, this is not the 1-drop I want to sacrifice. This is good card advantage in the late game. Is this going to be Surveil World again? No, an actual basic. Okay. Okay, I have no idea what this deck is all about. Some sort of Eldrazi Reanimator. That was surprising. I just asked on Twitter, like, what happened to Faithless Looting? But I don't know how Eldrazi can use it. What? Oh! Okay. Okay, so then maybe this is, like, again, maybe this is just Red Breach. Maybe this is just a Red Breach deck. We might want to hold on to this Flood Pits Drowner, because Flood Pits is actually very good versus Breach. Or I can't remember what they put in play. They put nothing in play with the Ugin. Talisman, I can't do anything about that. Oh, sweet. Well, if I had that, I would have countered this. I didn't know. I didn't know. See, now they can play Breach off of just the Talisman. What the hell is this? Enters, exile all creature cards from your graveyard. There are none. It's a tap. Exile the top 3 cards of your library. Pay 4, tap. Put a creature card exiled with this thing onto the battlefield under your control. It gains haste till end. That sounds awful. Oh, but I do have a Flood Pits. I also have a Sink into Stupor. This is probably... It's probably not worth the hassle. You need 4 mana for this. Exile the top 3 cards. Pay 4. So they could have it active by next turn, and I want to tap out for Harbinger of the Seas. I'll counter this. I'm not thrilled about this, though. Not even thrilled about playing Flood Pit's Drowner here. Gloomlake Verge is sort of good. Actually, this card doesn't even do very much. Just shuts down. It upgrades this land. Maybe was that wrong? Maybe that was wrong. Okay, this card comes back. That's fine. Because now we have sync up. That's a completely different ball game here. And just out of curiosity, pay 4, put a creature card exiled with this thing onto the battlefield under your control. It gains haste. Okay, let's attack for 4. We have a 4-turn clock. Wonder, can I just keep sinking this every single turn? Would that be acceptable? Ugh, I really want to play Sveilun here. I'm very paranoid about what our opponent can find off of the... like, 3 cards! How bad could this get? Because having Sveilun in play would be pretty nice. Especially since it plays around, like, Kozilek's Return and stuff like that. Okay, what is this exile off the top? You got a Kozilek's Command, Boseiju, and a Talisman. Put a creature card exiled with this thing. You have nothing. Okay, I know what to do. They're going to go to their turn, and then at the end of their turn, I'm going to sink it. Fateless Looting is okay with me. Discard Ulamog. You have another island card. Exiling more cards. They found nothing, actually. Maybe, actually, at this point, I can just bounce things. Like, what is this, a 3-turn clock? Oh, and I have Force Negation now, too? Yeah, forget it. I'm not even going to play Sveilun anymore. I'm just going to sink, force. That's the plan. They could even pass on my turn. If they go breach, I'll sink. Then they'll try to replay breach on their turn, and I'll force. Yeah, we'll sink this. Back to hand you go. They need some hard red removal. This is an unusual take on the breach deck. Unfortunately, our opponent is not in the range of getting killed by lethal. So, mind you, the Harbinger of the Seas is still doing a job because there isn't double colorless on the battlefield. The hell is this? Oh, this Goryo's Vengeance in this deck! Why? Okay, so we are going to sink this. And then we're going to force it next turn. Okay, now we know what the black is for. Now we learn what the black is actually for. And they can't actually... Okay, so now there's just no way they can combo off. They can recast Goryo's Vengeance again. Sure. Okay, yeah, I have to let that resolve because I can't let Goryo's Vengeance resolve. This is all blue mana here. We're up against a lot of brews. Yeah, I'm all for it, though. I hope everyone brews ways to absolutely obliterate, completely obliterate energy. That's what we need. Pitching the Master of the Pearl Trident because if somehow like something goes wrong and I'm gonna die, or like for example, let's say they play Mountain, Kozilek's Return my board, I'd rather the last card that I put on the battlefield is a Sveilun of Sea and Sky. Well, it goes good game. Looks like the game that match is over. Things worked out well for us and poorly for our opponent. Um, it's actually possible our opponent didn't even run very well, because if they're running red, maybe they've got some spot removal that they just never drew, and we went completely unopposed, even though they had black and red mana this game. Harbinger of the Seas did something, but not as much as I would have hoped normally in a game. All right, that was round 4. It's time to go to round 5. In round 5, we lost the die roll. I'm not really a fan of my hand. I have to tap out. I'm probably going to take 3 damage from the Sink into Stupor. Probably going to take some more damage from Dismember, but there are some matchups where this hand might line up. Could be wrong. Maybe there's 0 matchups where this hand might lines up. I want a blue deck that doesn't have Bowmasters. That probably doesn't exist. I do have the option, though, turn 2, just put the Sink into Stupor into play tapped and just play another Mindspring Merfolk. It's not really mana efficient, though, in my opinion. We're up against another blue-black deck. Will we get punished by Bowmasters this time? They put a card on top of their deck. Maybe it's Bowmasters. And they're moving fast. Otherwise, it could be Psychic Frog. Oh, there's the Bowmasters. All right. So long, Mindspring Merfolk. Now, the only advantage to this is that it doesn't hit our Flood Pits Drowner. But now, what to do? What to do? What to do? What to do? I guess play this, pay the life, play a Master of the Pearl Trident, and pass. And then future cards will have toughness that could get out of range of Bowmasters, if that's even an issue. Okay, Lord just dies. Another reason I want to get the Master out is that my opponent has tapped out. So when they're tapped out, and like we have no protection versus counter magic, despite the fact that I did put a third. I did put a third Cavern of Souls in the deck. It has 5 cards. Just the stuff out here. Let's put some more Mindspring Merfolks in play. I'll put a Hydroelectric Specimen in play tapped. It could have been Mutavault. Could have been Mutavault. Actually lines up pretty well with Bowmasters. I just don't have the mana right now. By the way, these are going to be supreme trash if I activate these. Because if I activate them, like the whole board, or sorry, like they're going to get a bunch of triggers. They're going to get tons of triggers. Triggers galore. Yeah, I'll take 2. Thank you very much. That's interesting. That's super interesting, especially given the board state. Okay. No basic swamp. This is a little late, to be honest, but better late than never. Maybe I could have gotten in an attack, because it didn't seem like they wanted to trade their Bowmasters for the Mindspring Merfolk. Yeah, I have no answer to that stupid thing yet. Another Harbinger of the Seas. Probably should just pass here. Can I attack for 1? What if I attack for 1? Or can I pump everything up? You get 2 triggers. That sounds awful. You could shoot down the Mindspring Merfolk. Oh, okay, I'm just going to pass. I'm going to try to Flood Pits Drowner the stupid Orc Army. If it fails, then I'll dismember the Orc Army. I expect this to get counterspelled. But we're behind. There it is. And next, let's dismember the Orc Army. and hope our opponent doesn't follow this all up with a Murktide. Oh, they can't right now. They're 1 mana short. But I don't have a good answer to Murktide at the moment. Oh, okay. Flare of Denial is good. That's okay. Feeling this is going to get countered. No, it didn't. Okay, we're going to attack with our Harbinger of the Seas then. If they want to trade with 2 Bowmasters, I'm good. I'm good with that. Harbinger of the Seas beat down. Flood Pit Strandor is great. Just keep beating down with our Harbinger of the Seas. Should I get in with my Spring Merfolk? Probably not. Wonder what our opponent... Well, I guess our opponent just has a bunch of black cards in hand. It's the only way to explain all this nonsense. Yeah, I shouldn't sacrifice. I shouldn't even exchange this because I might need it for Flare of Denial. Flood Pits. Yeah, let's play this. No, I shouldn't play that just in case my opponent plays Murktide. I should have just thrown out a Tishana's Tiebinder for nothing. Now I think I'll serve with the entire team because it's a 2-turn clock. Another Flare is actually quite good. So if they block Flood Pits, they take 5, they go down to 5, and we've got lethal next turn. We actually have pretty good counter backup. We can cast Flare of Denial and pitch a creature to Flare of Denial if necessary. All your options suck. And that makes my Spring Merfolk that much stronger too. Now that 1 Bowmasters is off the board. I played Tishana's Tiebinder to play around Otawara, because if they play Otawara and bounce a Harbinger, I don't have lethal, and I can't counter that. But if I play Tishana's Tiebinder, Otawara is useless. That resolves. Opponent's hand is full of air. I feel like there's an Otawara here, though. I just feel it. I'll attack with everything. Okay, they just concede. They're just like, we're gonna make Nikachu do it. Okay, we're gonna bring in Stern Scolding. Deals with Psychic Frog and the Bowmasters. And I'm actually more. I suspect there's more Psychic Frogs. I'm incredibly certain there's Psychic Frog because they did not play anything. We are going to want to remove probably. Do we want to remove Flood Pit Drowner? This member is not great. It like lines up with nothing. It can kill sometimes Psychic Frog, sometimes Murktide. Not really a fan of Dismember here. This just gets really bad value all around. Oh, no. Oculus. Okay, so sometimes Psychic Frog, always Oculus. That is important. What am I taking out? Okay, Consigned to Memory is not more important. I probably have to take out these some Flood Pits. Just can't be too vulnerable to for 1 toughness nonsense. Let's bring in some Force Negations and Lord of Atlantis. Lord of Atlantis is good here. It's rare. Do I want to remove Tishana's Tiebinder for something? Nah, this is okay. Oh, Harbinger of the Seas is bad. My opponent says I drew all my black cards. That was my plan. Ugh, Harbinger's Disease is not good. I know we won with it just last game, but they need one black source. Okay, I'll take out one Harbinger, bring in one Force. I mean, I could Spreading Seas the Swamp, I guess. It's just a stupid, unreliable plan. Ugh, I don't really like Harbinger this series, but I have no choice. What else can I consign? Bowmaster's Trigger. Hitting an Oculus Trigger is not good. Okay, I'll bring in a Flood Pits Drowner, even though it's vulnerable to Bowmasters. Or maybe I should just have all the Bowmasters and hope that Stern Scolding carries me. This hand blows. This is pretty bad. Damn. Well, there is a good side to this hand. Okay, maybe I'm going to keep it anyway. There's a good side to this hand. The good side is that my creatures will be uncounterable. But the thing is, okay, I gotta take 3 here. I take 4 here. Force Negation has to be pitched to a blue card, which is going to be like Stern Scolding, or I don't know, just depends on how we draw. It's just I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan with Force in double Ether Vial hands, because if this Ether Vial was a land, perfect, then I only need one more land to hard cast this. But because I have 2 Ether Vials in my hand, now I can't hard cast. The likelihood of hard casting this is very poor. And also, I don't even want to draw the lands now, because then I'd just be flooding out. Psychic Frog turn 2. Yeah. It's a bit annoying. Okay, what we can do, put our opponent to the test. What do you want to do with this Psychic Frog? Do you want to dump your entire hand? Because if they do, they will be down on cards when we Flood Pits it later. So they have to dump the entire hand to save it. Okay, they decide not to save it. It's a pretty big risk on their part. It can backfire badly. Tamiyo. I cannot do anything about that right now. Leaving Bowmaster's mana up, so I'm not going to put Mindspring Merfolk in play right now. I'm going to wait until I can counter it. Leave this on... No, I'm going to tick this thing up. We'll tick this up to 2. I can Flood Pits this Tamiyo. And I guess I'm just not allowed to do anything at the moment. Let's not draw cards, how about? I forbid it. Although remember, they could still like draw a bunch of cards on their turn. What the F is this? Consign to memory my Flood Pits Drowner. The stupid thing is I can force this back. Do I want to? You attack. You know what? Sure. I don't care. I don't even know why you have Consign in versus me. I guess they desperately need the cards or something. I think if Tamiyo flips at this point, I'm just ahead. I want to save Force Negation for a Drown. Sorry. What's it called? Oh, we have Dismember now for Tamiyo. Okay, attack for 2. Super protected from Bowmasters. Because if they put a Bowmaster's ping this thing, we just bring in Lord, and that would deal with it. I think I want to upkeep kill this Tamiyo. Damn, I'm siphoned on mana, though. Very frustrating. I want to do this at upkeep so that I potentially have Force Negation up. to counter this counter spell. And also, it makes them counter on their turn. Do I still care? Maybe not at this point. Okay, I think that's going to be fine. I think the new line now is I'm going to play Lord at end of turn. Next turn, I'm going to play another Lord. And I'll hard cast the Mindspring Merfolk. And then I'm going to use Force Negation to just protect our board. Another Mindspring. Fatal Push. It's going to resolve. Now the question is, do I want to put a Lord in play? So if I put a Lord in play, deal 3, go to 13, play Mindspring. That means if I draw a Lord, I can do only 10 next turn. So it doesn't actually change anything if I put a Lord in play. Although if I put the Lord in play right now, I don't get got by Bowmasters. Yeah, that seems fine. I don't want to be in a situation where end of turn, activate. Oh, Bowmasters, boo! Tamio at the moment is just dirtling around, and the opportunity cost to crack these clues are just way too high. But there's another fetch land. Is it time to nuke the board? Well, there's that swamp. The swamp that didn't exist last game. Okay, we're cracking clues. I mean, they can flip Tamio, but it'll just die instantly. I miss when it used to show both sides of the stupid thing. Magic Online, show me the other side. Doesn't show the other side. Maybe for convenience issues. Maybe it takes up too much of the screen when you show both sides of Tamio, just by scrolling your mouse over it. Nothing. Trying to protect yourself from death, I see. That must be it. Oh my god, we drew Sink into Stupor. This is late as hell. Well, a few interesting things. I could Sink, Shock, or sorry, Bolt myself, and then attack with, I don't know, Flood Pit's Drowner and Mass of the Protron, and then activate Mindspring Merfolk. But then I can't play a Mindspring Merfolk this turn. If there's Fatal Push, I'm in a bit of trouble here. But I don't think there's anything I can do about that. Okay, we're going to attack. Oh, Dismember. Okay, so there was some removal. Interesting. So if no, I didn't really want to play Mindspring that turn. Okay, so what are we up to? So next turn this Tamio can flip and be far more devastating. So we have to get this Mindspring Merfolk out. And do I shock with Sink or do I keep it? I think I shock. Sorry, Bolt, I mean. And the reason for this is I need to be able to deal with potentially a Bowmasters that is going to ping off my stuff. Okay, so Tamio's going to flip very comfortably here. I guess I could have forced that. They put 2 on top, 0 on the bottom. what they can replay a Fatal Push from the graveyard. Funny, Electals are really close. Yeah, that was a line I didn't think about. I could have forced that. Oh, it would have really... You know what? It would have really sucked if I got counterspelled. That would have been terrible. One more for the road. I guess our opponent... Okay, we're not making land drops, so our opponent is hyper paranoid. Just the most ridiculously ridiculous of paranoid that we've got a Lord in hand. And I'll tell you what, I think... you don't see this from me very much. I'm going to activate Violet end of turn, just in case our opponent has Bowmasters, and I sort of want to get them to play the Bowmasters. Okay, well, okay, anyway, forget all that. None of that's going to happen. None of that matters. Now we're in a race of trying to kill this stupid Tameo. So now we hope to draw cards. Sorry, lands. I really want to draw lands. We're going to pump up one of these Mind Springs. Holy crap! I keep forgetting that these decks play Kaito now. Oh my god, we drew a Lord! It changes everything. How are we going to play this turn now? I don't think... you know what? I don't think I actually changed very much. We'll activate a Mind Spring. Draw no cards. Kill Tameo. Or can I effectively kill Tameo? I could also put my opponent down to 4. What would this do? Return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. You get a Fatal Push. You don't want Dismember. You get a Fatal Push. I can Forcive negate that. You counterspell. You know, I don't like Tameo, but I think I'm just going to go after my opponent's face. It's a lot of damage. It's technically still lethal. If they use Tameo to go get Fatal Push. Another Fatal Push. So even if I get rid of this thing... Okay. Oh, but I can deal with this one right now if I really want to. Then you go get another one, and you can kill on my turn. Oh, but it will go down. Oh, Tameo goes down to a very low amount. So you kill this, and then I kill you. The real question is, like, what am I using this Force Negation for? All right, I feel like this should be saved for Drown. Not Drown. Toxic Deluge, but I'm going to ignore that right now. I feel like this Force Negation is expiring. If Tameo goes down to go get, goes minus to go get Fatal Push, then the -1 nonsense gets ignored here, and 2 creatures getting through is lethal. Okay, they are going to get Fatal Push. Fatal Push kills my master. Psychic Frog is not going to do it. I think that's it. It's GG. Let's attack with all of them. I think that's it. I think we did it. Yeah, opponent goes good game in chat. It was a good game. It was a tight game. Of risk and reward and what to do versus a blue deck when things go bad. All right, let's take a look at the how did things do? Where's our deck here? It's so okay. What worked? Consigned memory worked sort of fine. I also should say like the meta wasn't that great for us. I mean, it was I would say we got like quite a few random matchups. Like what else? String Scolding was fine. The hydroelectric specimen sort of sucked, especially. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It just didn't do very well. Would like to still play test it though. Yeah, we got shot in the face. We had a lot of awkward hands, but you know what? Did we go 4-1? I think we went 4. I don't even remember my record. I think it was a 4-1. A 4-1 is a 4-1, and there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know what to change right now. Other than, I mean, there is a world where we want to go to 22, 23 lands, have more Svaeloons in the deck, and maybe less like Lord of Atlantis, and have the Lord of Atlantis in the sideboard for the appropriate matchups. And we're just much more interactive on the earlier turns of the game with Stern Scolding, Consigned to Memory. We're just like super careful on the earlier turns of the game, and then when we get the 3 mana, then we start like, I don't know, going big and exploding. There is a world where we can do that, and Svaeloon, of course, plays pretty well when you're playing stuff like Flare of Denial and Force of Negation. Also, I should say, Hydroelectric Specimen would be way better if we've got like Subtlety and Force of Negation in the main. It's just not clear to me that Force of Negation is worth being in the main deck at the moment. Well, let me know what you think. We're gonna still tinker around with this thing. Especially with these like 1 mana things having the main deck. Well, we got actually quite a few good matchups for Consigned to Memory when it only lined up once. Anyway, I hope you had fun. This has been Nikachu Merfolk Master playing Merfolk in Modern.